Recently, AOC came out and said that, basically in any other country, her and Joe Biden would not be in the same political party, and it seems like she's getting some backlash from the kind of status quo liberal establishment. This is an article from Salon talking about it. New York Rep. AOC said in a interview published on Monday that the Democratic Party, quote, can be too big of a tent, adding that she and former Vice President Crazy Uncle Joseph Biden would not be members of the same political party in any other country. Cortez lamented in a New York Magazine profile that the Democratic Party is too acquiescent of the demands of the moderate members who flipped red districts in 2018 as the party won back the House of Representatives. I don't know if that's accurate with the moderate members piece, but we'll let it go for now. The freshman congressman took credit for amplifying more progressive voices since coming to Washington. Quote, what people don't realize is that there is a Tea Party of left, but it's on the right edges, the most conservative parts of the Democratic Party, she told the outlet. So the Democratic Party has a role to play in the problem, and it's like we're not allowed to talk about it. We're not allowed to talk about anything wrong the Democratic Party does. I think I've created more room for dissent, and we're learning to stretch our wings a little bit on the left. I like that. Ocasio-Cortez urged the Congressional Progressive Caucus to start kicking people out if they break with the party line. That makes sense. Why be in the Progressive Party caucus if you're not going to represent those ideals? They let anybody who the cat dragged in call themselves a progressive, she claimed. There's no standard. I like it. The freshman from New York added that Democrats can be too big of a tent. This is really good. Asked how she envisioned her role in Congress if Biden wins the presidency, Ocasio-Cortez responded with a groan. Oh God, she said, in any other country, Joe Biden and I would not be in the same party, but in America we are. That's very true. And, because basically in the United States, it's a Democratic Republic, the Democratic Party, the Republican Party, and if you're not in one of those or have, a D or an R next to your name, pretty much have no chance of getting elected, especially to national office, either in the Senate or to Congress. When it would be a lot more helpful if we did actually have a multi-party system that represented a wider range of views than what we currently have with the Democratic Party and the Republican Party. Because in AOC's right, in a lot of other countries, she's much more to the left than Joe Biden, but they still are considered both to be Democrats. Just one's an actual progressive kind of social democrat, and Joe Biden is more of a neoliberal centrist, and he represents that wing of the Democratic Party. Let's see, and then she's talking about the criticism. I don't know why people are up in arms about this. She tweeted Monday, many other countries have multi-party democracies where several parties come together in a coalition to govern. In another country, I'd be in Labour Party like Jacinda Ardern. Our primary field would cover 2 to 3 parties. In the current primary field, some people treat healthcare as a right and others don't. Doesn't make you enemies, it makes you different, she added. She said it. Abroad, being different parties doesn't mean you dislike each other. It means you acknowledge differences and come together in coalition. Cortez, who endorsed Bernie in the Democratic primary, also criticized Biden's stance on climate change last year after Reuters reported his campaign planned a middle ground approach. I would be damned if the same politicians who refuse to act now are going to try to come back today and say we need to find a middle of the road approach to save our lives. This is too much for me. OC tweeted in May. It's not just about being centrist per se. It's when you're struggling to talk about segregationists and you err on the side of discussing them in glowing terms. That's a big problem, she said at the time. So kind of interesting, but I mean, it's I I just don't see how anybody could take any fault with what AOC said in a sane democracy in a sane constitutional republic. That the United States obviously isn't that, but if we were, we would definitely have a multi-party system. And she's right. In that type of world, in a sane world, AOC and Joe Biden would not be in the same parties. He's a centrist who represents the neoliberal status quo, and AOC represents more of a progressive social democratic tradition that wants to radically change things in a positive way to make life better for people in the United States and abroad. Peace. What do you think?